Hi everyone, it's me. So I'm currently sat on the sofa with my dogs chilling out, and I'm just about to give both of my hamster enclosures a clean. So I thought I'd bring you along so you can see what spot cleaning my hamster enclosures looks like and involves for me. So without further ado, let's get to it, and I hope you enjoy the video. Okay, so first I've just removed all of the bowls from both of the hamster enclosures. This is Ezra's enclosure here on the left, my male Syrian hamster, and over here we've got Juno's, my female Syrian hamster. This is Juno's food bowl, this is Ezra's food bowl, and here are their water dishes. So I'm just going to take these into the kitchen and give them a clean out. I just like to clean out my hamster bowls because, as you can see, Juno kicks sand in hers. And then all in here you can kind of see there's just bits of bedding and stuff like that they end up kicking in things. You can see this one's really grainy on the bottom because of sand. So I just give these a wash, about once a week or so, just to keep everything clean and sanitary. When I was washing up the hamster bowls, in one of the water bowls I found this kind of crack in the side. I don't know if you can see it. So I've dried it up and looked at it a bit closer, but it just seems to be kind of a fault in how the glass was made, because it doesn't go through to the other side and it just feels like a dip rather than a crack. It's not sharp or anything like that, so I'm going to continue using this dish for the minute, but if anything else happens to it I'll keep an eye on it. But I have got a spare of one of these that I can use if need be, but I do think it is just a fault in the glass. So this is Ezra's sand bath after less than a week. I think this is about 4 or 5 days in here, and you can see how much bedding he's kicked in it. It's not too wet, it's quite clean, it doesn't smell too bad, but it's just got a lot of debris in here, so he isn't really getting much benefit from this, so I'm going to sieve it out for him now. Okay, so I've just sieved out Ezra's sand bath. As you can see, it's nice and clean now, doesn't smell at all. But what I've discovered is that there was no wet sand at all in here. So it seems that he hasn't actually been peeing in his sand bath, which he always has. He's never peed outside it. So I need to have a little hunt now to see where he's been peeing and to see if I need to remove any bedding. So I found the corner which was the culprit. I've just moved his wheel because his wheel was in the way of the corner, but the bedding isn't wet or anything, it's just really smelly when you pick it up. So I'm just going to give this corner a little clean out and just remove some of the substrate from it. So I've removed all of the wet substrate just into this bowl with that scoop there, and I've just popped it into the bowl so I can pop it into a bin bag. So I found the corner where he's peeing, and I think it's because I moved his sand bath recently to not in a corner, and he prefers peeing in a corner. So I'm going to move his wheel back into the middle where it used to be and put his sand bath back in that corner, so hopefully he pees in the sand again, because it's really inconvenient to clean the bedding and you generally don't get all of it, whereas it's a lot easier just to sieve out the sand and sniff it to see if you need to replace it. Okay, so after removing the substrate I had a little rearrange and moved a couple of things. Ezra seems to really like his setup, so I've left it mainly how it is. I've moved his wheel to the middle and put his sand bath in the corner where he's been peeing, so hopefully he continues to pee in the sand bath. And I've just moved this little bendy bridge into this corner just to make it a bit more of a feature, because it was just tucked right back there and he didn't use it because he had no reason to, because it was just, tucked away in a corner. So as you can see, this is his enclosure. His bedding's quite deep. It is Orbeos horse bedding layered with hay in between, nice soft hay, and he's got quite a few things in here. He's got his little hide in there, his bendy bridge, he's got a stone under there for his nails, he's got a sand bath, his wheel, he's got a little hide here, some pine cones, and this toilet paper tube actually leads to a cereal box underground, and from that he likes to start his burrows. So as you can see, there's a little burrow here that he's made, and there's a few more dotted around. And then he's got this bendy bridge, he's got some hay in the corner, he's got all sorts to do, and I'm about to put his water and food dishes back in. So his water and food dishes are back in, his food dish is in the corner over there, and his water dish is over here. I decided to take out his bottle because he doesn't use that to drink, he just knocks it straight off, and I haven't got a proper stand for it because I got it when I rescued him in a barred enclosure, and all the bottle stands are really expensive, and quite frankly I would rather just use a bowl and spend that kind of £10 on a bottle stand on something else that he's actually really going to benefit from. So here's just a preview of what it looks like, all finished with the spot clean done, smelling absolutely lovely and just looking lovely. He doesn't get any food because he was fed last night, but I put his food dish back in anyway, and he's just having a little rummage in his sand now. And so I'm just going to move on to do Juno's cage. Got Juno's sand here. This side is dry, but as you can see, this side she's been peeing in and it does smell quite bad, so I am going to sieve out this bit and see if the dry sand smells or not, because if it smells really bad I will go and bake some, but if it can last a while more I will do it tomorrow or something like that. So if this smells too bad I'll do it now, but if not I'll do it tomorrow or at the weekend or something. Okay, so I filled up the sieve with all the dry sand and I'm just going to sieve that into this container, but this is all the wet sand. She literally pees like mad and it clumps the sand up and wastes a lot of it, so as you can see that's like half of the bowl there that she's wasted. So I will have to bake some more over the next couple of days, but this sand should be fine for now because it is dry and it is relatively clean. So I'm just going to throw away this and sieve this sand back into here. Juno's sand is all sieved. It still smells really fresh, so I likely won't have to rebake any for maybe like another week, so this can go straight back in her enclosure and then we'll do a little rearrange for her. So I didn't do too much rearranging today because, as you can see, Juno has quite a simplistic enclosure. She enjoys burrowing, she doesn't really play with too much, and she kind of just prefers to eat food. So I've given her a lot of space to burrow. As you can see, there's probably about 30 centimetres in there, again laid with hay. And you can see she does use that to burrow. So in here she's got this toy which she really likes. She's chewed on it a lot, as you can see, so she does really enjoy chewing as well, which is why I try and keep all of her items nice and natural wood. She's got her sandbar. This entrance again goes into a cereal box. Need to be careful she doesn't bite me. And then she's got this bendy bridge here, again her wheel, and she's got her house with another bendy bridge there. So I just need to put her food and water dishes back in. Again, she's not being fed today, she was fed last night, but I'm going to refill her water and give that back to her. So both of these cages are homemade. They are 95 across, 50 back and 50 up. So as you can see, their bedding goes just over halfway because the cages actually do start from right at the bottom. So the frames are just to keep the front in. So they're probably at about 30-35 centimetres of bedding in there. So we've got quite big cages. They each have 736 square inches of floor space, which is well over both the minimums in the UK and the US, and this very nearly conforms to the German size guidelines, which are 100 by 50, but as you can see these cages fit very tight in the spaces that I wanted them in, and so I measured it all up, and if I had them both 100 by 50 I wouldn't have any of this space in between, I wouldn't have any leeway at the wall, and I wouldn't have any leeway at the wardrobe, so both the cages would be extremely hard to move, extremely hard to do anything with, and they would just constantly be rubbing up against each other. So I'm at 95 by 50 by 50, which is as big as I could go, because if you see my room I literally don't have any more space to put the hamster cages anywhere different, so that's where they had to go, so that's the size that they had to be. So that's that, they're all spot clean, so that's them done for another few days, obviously apart from their feeding and watering. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.